If you like show and tell as a kid, stick around. Today I have 2 things for show and tell, and I end with 3 quotes from accomplished screenwriters and filmmakers that reinforce 3 potentially life-changing words. Or at least words that can change your creative mindset. It's what I wish somebody would have told me when I was 18 or 19 years old, starting a career in production. Many years ago, I was interviewing accomplished artist Kelley in his studio for a magazine article. Kelley's perhaps best known for his large murals at Barnes & Nobles throughout the United States. And actually, the poster over my left shoulder is from one of the multimedia productions we did together in collaboration with the Full Symphony Orchestra. Kelley said that one of his heroes was Milton Glaser, the legendary graphic designer who created the I Love New York logo back in the 1970s. Kelley said that his own creative philosophy was embodied in the very title of Glaser's book, my first show and tell, Art is Work. That stuck out to me because you often don't hear about art described as work. Some use more ethereal ways to talk about the creative process. I'm waiting for the muse to come, or something that's fun and carefree. But when you think of work, what comes to mind? That brings up my second item for show and tell. Do you know what my grandfather received for spending half his life working in a steel mill in Youngstown, Ohio? I'll show you. A Zippo lighter. I never even knew this existed until my father died and it was passed down to me. If you've never heard the Bruce Springsteen song Youngstown, it starts out like this. Here in Northeast Ohio, back in 1803, James and Dan Heaton found the ore that was lying in Yellow Creek. That basically set up a way of life for the next 150 years for many men and women living in that area about halfway between Pittsburgh and Cleveland. My grandfather died of a heart attack and is buried in a cemetery that runs along Yellow Creek. He spent half his life working down the road at Youngstown Sheet and Tube. And for that, he got a lighter that says, 30 years of service. They did go to the extra mile of putting his initials on the back, Roth J. Smith. I actually don't know what the J stands for, but it's what makes it my favorite family heirloom. But when I think of work, I think of that kind of job. Long hours at a gritty place, just grinding away at it day and night for 30 years. It's the epitome of a blue-collar job. It's why I've chosen to wear a blue-collar shirt for all of these videos. At least the first 100 videos, if I make it that far. Stick with me. We'll see if I can grind that out. Think of this as my filmmaking with brass knuckles work shirt. Now, how does all of this translate to screenwriting and filmmaking? Well, Billy Ray, the Oscar-nominated screenwriter of Captain Phillips, said this: "The best advice I ever heard about writing came from Paddy Chayefsky, he of Network and The Hospital. He also wrote Marty. That's 3 Oscars. Chayefsky's advice to writers was simple. Don't think of it as art. Think of it as work." Before Frank Darabont wrote and directed the classic Shawshank Redemption, this is how he said he learned screenwriting. "For me, it was a matter of years of trying to develop my writing in the same way that some people spend years learning to play the violin." YouTuber and filmmaker Casey Neistat had this straightforward explanation for his success. "There are 2 rules that I always adhere to, and that is to work hard and be brave. Now go fight the good fight. Get back to work." Oh, and don't forget to punch the clock.